Want to learn more about the dynamics between men and women? Then check out the multi-part video series I have explaining the masculine and feminine energies. Access the link and watch it now. All right, what's up? We're going to be speaking about one of the most important topics on planet Earth and to do with every piece of life. We're going to be speaking about the masculine, feminine energies. We're going to be explaining the nature of these energies, the basics. And I'm going to try to make this almost like a course. So there's going to be a part 1, part 2, part 3. So I want you to subscribe, or you want to subscribe, because this is an important topic. I say it's important because these energies dominate the foundation of everyday life, relationships. When you look at the content you consume, when you look at the nature of, or the topic of conversations that you have with people, when you look at the motivations of the activities that you do on an everyday basis, it's heavily influenced by the masculine and feminine energies. So it's very important, or you should want to know, this topic. And it's crazy to me that it isn't taught on a wide scale, but that's because we live in a culture which is misaligned when you consider that it is nothing to do with what is natural, and there's a detachment from our spirituality and religion. But anyway, let's get into it. Part 1. So the masculine and feminine energies explained, the basics. We start with this. Let's not think about it as the masculine or feminine energies right now. Let's just think of it as two different types of energies. And we'll probably go into that specific concept later on. But there are these two energies that as a man and a woman, you can express. And we always express both of them. We're always flowing in and out of the expression of both of these energies. You know, in Eastern philosophy, they call it the yin yang. In other cultures or other contexts, they might call it push-pull, plus, negative, dark, light, lunar, solar, right? There's this opposing, alternating energies that are always being expressed, and they come with different properties. Now, as I said, we can express both of these energies. We have both of these energies within us. However, you have a dominant energy. So if you're a man, you generally men express masculine energy. And for women, they generally express feminine energy. And when these energies are being properly expressed through certain behaviors, right? Those energies create certain behaviors. There's a feeling of fulfillment that people get. And there is usually positive results that people get in life, right? So it's important to know how these energies expressed, what these qualities are, and how it can be done properly in a healthy way. Because as I said, this dominates our everyday life, but we're not taught this information. So what people are doing is they are expressing it, but they are expressing it in a distorted way, in a toxic way. They're expressing it in a wounded way. They're going with the mental concepts that society has told them, which keep them away from this knowledge or away from this understanding. Then they get bad results. Then they get hurt, or then they do the wrong thing and end up in the wrong position. But if you understand that behind the masculine and feminine energy, the qualities of the masculine and feminine energy, the behaviors that it produces, when we understand it, it usually leads us into healthy situations. So we have to understand how it's expressed. So what we're going to do now is we're going to go through the qualities of each energy. We're going to go through the qualities of the yin energy, which is the feminine energy, and the yang energy, which is the masculine energy. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go onto my website, actually. It's called The Traits of the Male and Female Energy, and it's on codereemus.com, right? But okay, this is also important. The energies are different, right? The energies are different, but nature intends them to be complementary. This is very important. Right now, we're in a so-called gender war. We're literally trying to just do role reversal, or we're trying to be the opposite gender's energy just out of pure ego, right? And we're trying to go, oh, I can be as masculine as men can be. And the men are being told, hey, be in your feminine energy, but you can be in your dominant energy, and it's okay because they're complementary. There's no need for competition. Okay, so let's talk about the male energy. It's known as the yang energy. Is the stable light energy. Some of the components which we attribute to it is that it is solar energy, you know, it is the sun, it is the day. It is hard, it is expansive, it is structure, it is direct, it is overt, it is extension. When you think about this stuff, we'll be going into this more, but you should be thinking light bulbs should be going off in terms of men are having these traits. It is a stable energy, it is order. And when we think about the expression of that in terms of the behaviors and the traits it creates in humans, we can see this, right? Men are more hard, stubborn. In fact, when a woman has masculine energy, she'll be a stubborn woman and she'll say things like this. She'll say, I don't have an attitude, I just speak my mind. No, I'm a stubborn woman. She'll brag about her stubbornness and you'll see that she has these other traits, right? But perhaps in a toxic way. But the masculine energy is proactive, right? It is about action. It is also the energy which is attributed with logic and reasoning. It leads to conquest. It is a competitive energy. It is, you know, to do with building. So we said that the masculine energy is structure, right? It is strong, it is protective. It is, it produces responsible behaviors. This is why men don't have a problem with accountability. It is results orientated. Men categorize and compartmentalize, and we'll go into this stuff later on in this series. So let's go on to the feminine energy, which is the yin energy. It is a chaotic, dark energy. And I don't want you to get caught up on terms like this, because what happens is you hear something like, oh, chaotic. Oh, you're saying that women are chaotic. It's not that. Don't think men and women right now. Just think of two energies and let's think of the qualities of this energy called the yin energy. Don't even think feminine energy right now. Just think yin energy, and this is the components of it. It is attributed with the moon and night. It is a soft energy. It is a reactive energy. It is contractive and receptive as an energy. It is flow. It is adaptive. It is malleable, flexible, moldable. It is indirect energy. And it is not overt, it is covert. It is a vulnerable energy. It is a volatile energy. It is a moment-orientated energy. So rather than being results-orientated, it is in the moment. It is a creative energy, and it is very connected. And this is then why we say it's the feminine energy and we link it to a gender. Because people ask, hey, why do you link masculine and feminine energies to what? Like, why can't we just say it's energy? Well, when we look at the masculine energy, we see there are certain behaviors, right, that are in line with the traits of that energy. The other energy has certain qualities that are in line with the behaviors of women and the preferences of women. So we can see that men and women are literally humane expressions of each energy. And that's why they always have a leaning and a preference to being in one energy. So when we think about the behaviors of the feminine energy, you know, we said before soft, right? Who is the gender that likes the idea of being soft and says, I like the idea of soft life. I want a man to give me soft life. I want to live soft life. It also produces an emotional side and an intuitive side. It's also an understanding energy. It's an accepting energy because it's very, very malleable and receiving. When we think about receiving, what gender likes to receive, likes to be spoiled? When you look at the vagina, what is it? It's a receiver, and the penis is an extension. It's a sensitive energy. What gender likes being sensitive? What gender is physically sensitive? Literally, the body of a woman, especially the erotic parts, has more nerve endings than for men. When we think about, yeah, indirect, it's covert. Okay, think about the fact that when men, let's say you go out to a girl and you ask her, yeah, hey, how's it going, blah, blah, blah. She might say, I have a boyfriend. She's being covert in that she doesn't have a boyfriend. She's just not interested. And everyone knows that a woman might say something but mean something else. It's this indirect, covert energy. volatile. And when we talk about volatile, we're saying a capacity for change, right? This is why there's a saying, hey, women like to change their minds often. What is the cycle of a woman? It's in line with the moon. That's why we call it the lunar energy. As we said, it's moment orientated. So women are very in the moment, right? They're the ones that are going to tell you, hey, be more in the moment, be more in the moment. They usually don't like to think ahead like men do. They don't like to plan because they are not structure. They are flow. Very connected and creative energy. If you give women something, they can use that creative energy to nurture it. Many women, right, even if you go on their Instagrams and stuff like that, you will see that many women have like a side hustle kind of page, and it will be something like painting or pottery, or women enjoy these personal self-care type of activities that are heavily linked to creative activities. Women are very creative, and the feminine energy is very creative, especially when you look at the artists who are creative, right? They're very in tune with their feminine energy. But those are some of the traits of the masculine and feminine energy. The qualities is behaviors. And in the next part of the series, we're going to go into much more, because as I said, this dominates a lot of our life. So comment down below. Let Reemus know what you thought of this video. If you found it interesting, if you learned something, and I'll see you in the next one. All right, if you want to watch the next part in the series, then check out the link below. I'll make it available and you can get access to all of the videos in this course.